the relationship is where it all begins. Because if you don't have that honest relationship, if it's just a business brand that is trying to have a conversation with somebody and it's not a human, you can't get that connection.
Yeah, that's it. People forget that they're talking to another person sometimes. Just because it's through, your phone, there's still a human on the other side of that. Hey, and welcome to the 20-Year Gap with your hosts, Kylie and Casey. We're two women with a 20-year age gap who give our generational perspectives on business, life, and everything in between. If you haven't yet done so, we'd love for you to hit follow, and while you're at it, please give us a rating so our podcast can grow organically and we can help reach more people. You'll find us at the 20-Year Gap on all your favorite social platforms. And now, let's jump into today's episode.
Okay, so Casey, we were having brekkie this morning and we were talking about relationships in business and how people are building business and how you are building your Instagram following because you've got businesses happening. And one of the things that you showed me was you reached out to a lady, like you were liking her stuff, you were commenting and engaging with her content because you found it interesting. And then she came straight back to you and her very first message to you was a pitch.
Yes. This drives me nuts.
Drives me
And
crazy.
to be fair, you and I used to do it as well, but from everything I have been learning, yes, straight away when I get this, and I get them on Facebook all the time as well from people I know, but they'll be like, hey, I have this amazing opportunity for you, and I was like, well, you don't really know anything about what I'm doing at the moment. How do you know I don't have my own amazing opportunity? Like, people go straight for the kill and they send this long-winded features and benefits, and you can make money or you'll feel great, or you know all these like very superficial things, and I don't even read them.
You could be a millionaire-ess.
Yeah.
Money may not be your driver. You may not be into lipstick.
No.
Like there's so much that they don't know about you, particularly being a cold call.
Yeah.
They're making an assumption that you need all these things when really it's you don't want to do any of that. You want to pack your bags and piss off overseas again.
Yeah. Well, exactly. This particular message that I got this morning, and I showed it to you, and I was like, oh, I hate it when people do this. Like, and the problem is that I'm a bit stubborn in the fact that I either want to turn around to them and say, like, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I say, hey, like, I appreciate you thinking of me and I appreciate the offer. However, can I give you some honest feedback? Actually, this happened. Well, I'll tell you about this one and then I'll tell you about another story. So what I found this lady on social media, and I've learned all the ways to genuinely and organically grow your social media following. And basically it's spending the time and listening to people online, actually going to their profile, having a look at what they're doing, making some thoughtful comments on not just a, hey, great shot, or put an emoji or something. It's taking the time to actually invest a few moments of your time into the effort that they're putting in. Because most of the time people are putting in a lot of effort online. So this lady, I found her, she's a beautiful page. She put up a really nice photo and something to do. It was actually like a flat lay with like some cool shorts and a cool t-shirt, like an autumn tie, like a fashion style thing. But then she had like these products on the thing as well. So I first thought it was a fashion thing, and then I was like, oh, okay, there was products. Anyway, her description, her caption was something to do with gut health. Now we are in a space where we also deal with gut health, and we know the importance of it. And I basically said, this is a great, because she put a lot of good information. And I said, this is a really great post. Like, thank you. I 100% agree with you. Gut health is so important. And then today I've got a message from her, just this whole long-winded, just saying, thanks for commenting on my post. Like, gut health is important. That's why I take these products, and this is what they're called, and this is what they do. And it's called this, and it does this, and it's ProBio 5 and BioCleanse. And like, basically she gave me all the features and benefits of this product before even taking a moment to say,
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for commenting on my post. Do you have knowledge in gut health?
Or tell me about your experience. What happened and why did you learn about gut health, and what are you doing now? And just finding out a little bit of background before she goes in. That's just a copy and paste.
Yeah.
And that's just spammy shit.
It's just spammy and it's just so cold.
Yeah.
And it probably if she turned around to me and because you know you and I are always open to hearing about other people's businesses, you know, because we're obviously trying to grow our businesses. Yeah. We are in the network marketing field. We do have a company that we like, but we're always looking at other ones because they're great opportunities out there and we're never going to say no to them. But yeah.
But it's got to align with you too.
Yes.
It's got to meet all of the emotional connections, the feelings that you want to get. It's got to align with you so far as what you stand for.
Yeah.
And if it's something that just comes through as a cut and paste, she's made zero connection with you. She knows nothing about your background. She knows nothing about the space that you already take up.
Yeah.
And where you want to go.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Like, she's got a cool feed as well. Like, if she'd sent me a message and asked me a question and started a conversation, we could probably, okay, maybe I won't go into her products, but we could maybe do some sort of collaboration in some other area. We're both into growing social media. We're both into health and fitness. You know, people are so narrow-minded with some of the opportunities. Like, and now the thing is, I don't want to just message her back because it's just annoyed me. And I'm like, no, that's not. And she's got a pretty decent sized following on
She
her.
does.
So it also then makes me think this has come from not even her. This has come from someone like a VA that's just told to copy paste and send this message. So it's very cold. So
and the other question that I had, and I said to you, I wonder if she's purchased those followers. Like, you know, when you used to be able to go and purchase, I don't know if you still can you?
You can't really
but
do
there
that
was
anymore.
a time that you could do that. So are her followers genuine?
Yeah.
Or are they just, I don't know.
I wouldn't say they're purchased. But it's she's got a very pretty feed. So it's
But what I'm saying is it's already put that thought in my mind.
Yes.
Is she genuine? Is she authentic? Does she act like,
Yes.
is she there to help you and to serve you? Or is she just there to get a sale?
Yes. And that's it. That like all the stuff that we are learning about growing connections and growing with people, like you never lead with a sale. And like I'm doing a coaching business. Actually, this was the other example that I was going to give you. So, same thing. I was going through Instagram and I was interacting, and I found this girl, and she posted, really pretty girl. She's posted a photo of her like doing a hike or something. And anyway, she started posting about like what she's training for. She's training for this big thing. And I was like, oh, she seems really interested. So I started going to her page and I started looking at a few things. So she's training for some big adventure that she's taking next year. So I think I even reached out to her first. I can't really remember, but I know I messaged her or she messaged me. Anyway, we started a conversation. And within the first probably 2 or 3 sentences, like, you know, messages back and forth, she sent me this whole long thing of what she's doing, which sounds, let me tell you, sounds epic. So basically she's training to do this company, she's paying this company that are going to train her up to be dropped out in the middle of nowhere. So a couple of days before she actually gets dropped out, she spends time with like a British officer, commander, like combat commander type thing, and he or she is going to teach her how to survive, how to make a fire, how to you know, hunt, how to, you know, make your own food. And basically she'll have a tracker on her for safety reasons, but she basically gets helicoptered out and dropped in the middle of nowhere, and she's got to navigate her way back to civilization or back to wherever she needs to go.
Sounds very Bear Grylls.
It does. It sounds epic.
Yeah.
But she then says, will you donate so I can go and do this? Like, will you put money into my GoFundMe?
Yeah.
Will you GoFund me? I lost my job thanks to COVID, and now I need to pay for this adventure. Will you GoFund me? And I was like, this is the point that I took a position, because she doesn't have many followers on Instagram. She doesn't really know what she's doing. So I kind of said to her, and I asked her a few more questions about what she's doing, and she goes, yeah, my husband's the only one that knows where I'm going. I won't find out where I'm going until the day I go. Like, and I was like, this is such an epic adventure. Yeah. I said, however, can I give you some feedback? Like, would you mind if I could give you some, you know, really constructive feedback? And she was like, yeah, of course, sure. And I said, like, sounds like an epic adventure. Like, this is something I would love to follow your adventure and see how you do and see how you go, because it's something that I would maybe one day want to push myself to do. However, we're all in a situation now where we're trying to build things, we're trying to do things. We've all been affected by this pandemic. Why should I give you my hard-earned money so you could go do a epic adventure and I don't get to go and I don't get to do it? So that's what I said to her. I said, I asked her, I was like, how's the funding going? And she's like, it's going all right. I've got a few friends. They're mainly friends and family. But my following's slow and I'm building that up. But she doesn't offer any value on her website, on her page. So I said to her, let me give you some advice. She goes, you need to start, like, what you think comes naturally to you is so foreign to someone else, even maybe like me, like how to hunt or how to, if you know anything about that, like, or what it's going to be like, what you're looking forward to learnings. Share it. Yeah. And I wasn't sure how she was going to take it. And I said, look, I'd love to support you if you got me really interested and you gave me tons of value. Then there's this thing called I can't think of what it's called. It's a reciprocal mindset. Yeah. If you give something to someone, subconsciously in psychology, they want to be able to give something back to you.
And it could be as simple as a coffee. So you always invite somebody for a coffee and you pay for it, then they're more likely to invite you back for another coffee and they pay for it. So they've paid their debt.
Yeah, or say, I'll get the next one. Or say, so people always want to. So I said, if you want, you need to build up your following, but you need to add value. Yeah. And I said, then I'll be your first supporter. And I said, so this is basically where people have no idea on social media. Like, people aren't just going to throw money at you. Like, people are so guarded with their money. They're not just going to throw money at you. So, and she actually took my advice. She did. She took my advice. She then made a nice, long, big post, tagged me in it, and was like, I just got, like, great advice from a new follower. Like, I want to be able to help. What would you guys like to learn from me? And I was like, yes. That was
and the way that you could give to her now is through this. Have her as a guest on one of the episodes. Yeah. It doesn't cost you anything. No. And it gives her an avenue to actually share some of those learnings, and you take some of those learnings and then share it with our audience, which then she shares with her audience, and it all comes together that way. Yeah. So instead of forking out some bucks, give her a platform. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it, to talk about it. I mean, as I said to her, I was like, girl, build up your following before you go. Like, have people excited and waiting to hear what happens, and like,
and take people on your journey with you and be the storyteller. So for every time she goes out there and she goes and does a training session, take a GoPro, take your phone, take whatever and document everything. And just share that with your following, because it's the emotional attachment. It's actually having somebody come on the journey with you, and then they see when you stumble, you fall, you get back up, and it's all of that stuff. That's the really valuable stuff for me.
Yeah, definitely. And people want to, like, if you just say, if I met this girl and she said, oh, I went and did this, they dropped me out in the middle, I'd be like, oh God, that sounds amazing, but I don't think I can do that. Like, I mean, I'm generally a pretty positive person, but if someone takes, again, like you said, takes them along the journey and shows exactly what they did and shows it is possible, and shows how hard it is, then it's all about, like you said, storytelling.
Yeah. The emotional side of it. And I think that's where people get really scared too. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to show that they're not there yet. Like, everybody wants to see the big end game. They want to see the success story. But there's so much of a lead up for that success story to even happen. And that's where you get people to come on that journey with you. And then they celebrate with you, rather than, because when you celebrate some big success at the same time, if it's so big, only a certain amount of people will understand it. Yeah. And they'll celebrate it with you, but the rest of the population go, it was probably given to her, or she was, there's always a negative something attached to it. Yeah. Whereas if you allow somebody to get close to you and come on that path, it's a different space to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're saying here applies to any business, anything. If you've got, like, we're network marketers, but then I've got a coaching business, we've got our podcast, Kylie's got building her course and coaching business. Like, we've got so much going on. But if you've got anything, if you've got a coffee shop, even if you have a coffee shop, like, make the experience good for someone. If someone checks in at your coffee shop or something, send them a message back and say, thank you so much. Did you enjoy it? Was the seating comfortable?
Yes, ask for feedback. So
Yeah.
many people are so scared to get the feedback because there could be some negative feedback in there. But how do you actually fix anything or grow as a business or grow as a human if you don't get the feedback?
Yeah.
And some feedback will be shit.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like there are trolls out there. There are some nasty people that have nothing better to do in their day than to be jerks.
Yeah.
But you generally know which ones they are.
Yeah.
And so when you actually invite feedback, like so even for one of my other businesses, I leave a feedback form, and on the back it's got rate us, out of 10. And then also there's a space to go, where can we improve?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 they say absolutely perfect, loved it, blah blah blah. But there have been times when we've gone, oh, we may have missed something.
And they've given us feedback, and we go, oh, cool, okay, that means we can get to that.
Exactly, but the difference is they feel comfortable in giving that feedback because I'm so open about asking for that feedback.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be taken as who do they think they are? I'd like to see them do it. There's none of that. It's literally, I'm always wanting to improve. I'm always wanting to be of service to somebody.
Yeah.
And the relationship is where it all begins, because if you don't have that honest relationship, if it's just a business brand that is trying to have a conversation with somebody and it's not a human, you can't get that connection.
Yeah, that's it. People forget that they're talking to another person sometimes. Just because it's through, your phone, there's still a human on the other side of that who has their own feelings, emotions, struggles. So you've got to appeal to their emotional side. And going back to like the features and benefits, don't tell somebody in your business the features and benefits of a product, because anybody can look that up online. Like that's the boring stuff. Like I don't want to know. I want to know how it's going to make me feel. Where is it going to get me? How is it going to get me from here to there? And this comes into the psychology of selling. When you are selling to somebody, they're always thinking, what's in it for me?
Yep, 100%.
Always. Whenever you're trying to talk to somebody and you're trying to sell them something or get them to purchase something from you, you've got to put yourself in their position, because they're thinking, cool, I can buy this, but what's in it for me?
And why should I buy it from you and not her?
Yeah.
So you have to attract me.
Yes.
So you've got to use the words that I would use. You've got to be you've got to actually set a feeling that I want to feel. Like there's all of these things that you need to do. So I go, I really want to be around that energy. Like I really like that person, because there are so many people out there that do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But you want to be the person that is the authority, that knows what they're doing, but is the friendly person as well. And that that when I come to you, that I know when I come to you that you are going to look after me, even though you're delivering the same thing to multiple people, I want to feel like you know me.
Yes. And the way to do that is by going out and doing market research in the terms of, like, if you've got someone on exactly like this girl, that she's just sent me if she'd taken 5 minutes to have a look at my profile and had a look what I'm doing and commented on something that I was doing, I'd be way more open to discussing things with her. And it takes no effort. And that's exactly what you're saying. Like, I need to know what you need. Right. And what you want. And the only way I'm going to learn that is if I talk to you or talk to people like you.
Do you know the thing with these sort of messages, these cut and paste messages? People are taught in network marketing, MLM, direct sales, however you want to call it, they're taught to go for the no. Like I was taught that when I first started, just go for the no, just go for the no. So hit as many people as you possibly can, and you're probably going to get 95% no's, but let's just tick them off the list.
Yeah.
What is the point of that?
Yeah, no,
I don't go for the no.
No, definitely. I give, because then you're kind of giving your half effort. Like, oh, well, they might say no, but I'm just going to tell them anyway.
Copy paste, copy paste,
yeah,
copy paste.
You never know. Like, exactly. You never know. People might surprise you and they might turn around and they go, yeah, actually. If you show them how it will really help them, and don't fake it.
Right.
Like if you genuinely think that your product is going to help them and you don't see them as a number, you don't see them as a I need this sale to help my numbers. You see it as them as a human going, genuinely, this will, and people will be able to see your authenticity. Like if you genuinely think your business can help them, do your research on them and then go to them and say, this is how and why I think this will particularly help you.
Because when you're particularly in the nutrition space that we're in, and you know that it can help so many people. So you know genuinely that you can help a lot of people, but it's not until you open the door, like you attract that person to you, because they want to feel the way that you feel. They want to live the way that you live. They want all the things that you are. They just want to be around that or be that. But first you've got to ask the questions and build the relationship.
Yeah.
Because yes, there could be 100 people there that I could help. But realistically, there's going to be 5 people. I know that, who are going to be willing to be open-minded and willing to give it a go, and they're the people I'm going to talk to.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the yes.
Yeah.
Because I've found enough out about those people
Yeah.
that I know genuinely that I can help them.
Yeah.
I know I can help 100, but these people I absolutely know I
Really
can coach
know.
through
Yeah.
and help them change how they feel,
Yeah.
how they wake up in the morning, how they feel during the day.
Yeah.
Confidence.
And it goes like across any business. So other examples that we can give, I often get approached about virtual assistants.
Mm-hmm.
People often approach me about virtual, and again, they just send through the whole list of the services that they do. But if someone, and I'm always usually like, no, look, thank you very much, but I'm good. I'm doing it all by myself. I probably will need one later, but I'm good by myself. There's this one girl who has started a conversation with me. She's great. She does exactly what I've been saying. She started a conversation with me. She looked at my stuff. She constantly comments on my stuff, and then she asked me what I did. So naturally, I then say, well, what do you do? And then I invited her to tell me about her business, and and then I said to her, look, thanks, darling, I don't need it now. And then she hasn't cut me off. She's constantly come back and said, I really like your latest post. So when I then go to hire a virtual assistant, guess who I'm going to go to first?
She's front of mind.
She's front of mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to her first because she is so genuine that I know, like, if I needed help with my social media, she would be genuine to the people that I need help with.
Right.
Another example I thought of is, we're obviously doing this podcast, and we've posted on a couple of podcasting pages and stuff, and we've gotten a few people say, oh, if you need someone to do your editing and you need someone to do this and do that, and we're kind of like, no, it's cool, thanks, we're doing it ourselves. However, if someone turned around and said, hey, listen, I've listened to your podcast, it's great. However, I'm an editor and I feel like this is something that you could be better at. Mm-hmm. You could tweak, and it's going to help you guys sound so much more amazing. If you'd like, I can show you how to do that.
Yeah.
And we would turn around and be like, oh yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Because that person would be finding a solution for us.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even know that we need that solution until they put it in front of us as well. But there is definitely a way to kind of come in that you're going to be helpful rather than a salesperson.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sorry.
You go.
Even down to, I've got a cleaning business. Same thing. Like even the name of the cleaning business is Gift of Time. Doesn't say much about cleaning, domestic cleaning, commercial cleaning, but what it is, it's about gifting somebody the time. So instead of doing the cleaning, the boring chores, we go in and do that, or the team goes in and does that. And they then use that time that they're not spending on cleaning to spend with their family and their friends. And that's been part of my marketing over here. So I'm selling time. I'm not selling a domestic cleaning service.
Yeah.
And so when I'm talking to somebody, I'm always with that in mind as well, that I'm actually it's a chore that, it's not the best job in the world so far as the physical, but when you know that you're gifting somebody time, it puts a whole different spin on it.
Yeah.
It just depends on who you're talking to, what they need, and then how you're going to deliver.
Yeah. So that's it. So yeah, that's the biggest mistake that we've seen. So if you are in any sort of business that, and obviously now everything has moved online because this pandemic, has shut everything down. But if you can get around, niche down who you're after, who you're trying to talk to. If you try and talk to too many people and have it too broad, you're going to end up talking to the wall.
But also bringing it back to you.
Yeah.
Just be your authentic self.
Yeah.
Just speak your authentic words. Don't try and fluff it up. And I've done this in the past where I've fluffed it right up and I tried to make people appreciate how I've written it or the kind of story that I've written. Even though the story was my story, I put all these extra things in it.
Yeah.
And now it's just about, you know what, this is me raw. This is how I am. This is how I look. You're either going to connect with me or not. The right people will come.
Yeah. Definitely.
they'll be attracted to you.
Yes, definitely. That was the biggest shift I think I learned with my social media and how I've been able to grow it since I learned this. I always put out content about what I'm doing, what, I think is good, my advice for, what I've done, which is good. But I was writing it, in the frame of mind of what are people going to think about me?
You're looking for acceptance.
Yes.
And that is one of the biggest mistakes.
How many times have you had to pull me up on this and be like, just stop it?
Stop looking for acceptance.
Yeah.
That was the biggest shift in me.
Yeah.
And now I just write from the heart.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And yes, I still edit. Like I still go through and make sure I don't make spelling errors or grammatical errors and all that sort of stuff. And then I think, how could I make that better? And then I've got to stop myself because it's one of the biggest things, particularly with social media, because everything's so Insta-worthy now. So if we just strip it right back and go, here I am. It's amazing the difference in engagement level.
Yeah.
Like you've seen the engagement on my post.
Yes.
There are people who could say exactly the same thing, but in different words, but the story can be the same.
Yeah.
Or the issue that they're talking about is the same.
Yeah.
But I'll get a big, long conversational.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Like people are backwards and forwards and commenting on each other's, whereas this one sits here with 2 likes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. So here's some tips for if you are trying to grow your business and grow your socials, and definitely your socials are a huge part of any business nowadays. Like if you're not on some form of platform and social media, I don't know, we're big advocates of that. I think you do need to be on there. But if there is things that you're trying to grow, biggest tips and biggest mistakes I see with socials is exactly that. People putting out content, either not putting out enough content or putting out content that is very superficially pretty
Or irrelevant.
But if you can start putting out more content and get yourself into the frame of mind of what's in it for your listeners, so that when your listeners or your viewers are looking at this, they can go, they're thinking, what's in that for me? Why should I read this post or why should I look at this post? So write it from that way. Then also start engaging with people. Like if people comment on your posts, reply back as soon as you can with something thoughtful, not just an emoji or a thanks. If someone's taken the time, I don't spend too much time on the people that don't take too much time back. If they just send an emoji, then whatever. But spend some time getting to know the people, then maybe message them and get to know. Like so many people have all these followers that I know I'm guilty of this as well, like having a few followers and not knowing anything about them.
This is why I often just put a question out there.
Yeah.
If there's something that I'm pondering, I'll go, so that's how one of my businesses were born, actually. I was like, I put a post out. If you could outsource one thing in life that would make life easier for you, what would it be? And they all came back and I went, sweet, there's my business.
See, and that's why you got so much engagement, because you put that out going,
how can I serve you?
Yeah. Okay, this is for me because I need a job and I need money, but how can I make money by helping you?
Right.
And that's why you got, and I mean, look how freaking well you've done in the past 6 months. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so exactly that. So put out content where you think, where the customer or the person that you're trying to attract can think, what's in it for me? The other thing is just engaging. Go find a hashtag or something that's relevant in your space, and don't go comment. Don't spend too much time commenting on the people's accounts that have bazillion followers, like that are huge accounts. Go to the small accounts, look at some of their photos, figure out what they do. People are very transparent online sometimes.
And if you can help them, help them.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for a sale, how can you help them for nothing?
For nothing, yes. There's the Gary V's book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. Basically that says you give, and then you ask. You give,
I was in a
you give.
networking, BNI many years ago with another business that I had, and it was about referral system. You're always out there as you're going about your business. You're constantly looking for referrals for the people within your network.
Yeah.
So it was giver's gain. So the more you give, actually, I think I've got the book up there. The more you give, the more you gain, purely because you're giving so much value out there that everybody wants to reciprocate, which going back to what you said in the beginning, if you're giving constantly, if you're that go-to person that has solutions for people, when I had my office in town, I used to have people come in and say, Kylie, do you know of anyone that can do this, this and this? And I'd be like, yep, I do. Because I was that person. I was the go-to person. If you're front of mind, if you're the solutions person, everybody wants to know you.
Yeah. Definitely. And I mean, we're in a small town, so it's a little bit easier. If you're not in a small town, you're in a bigger city, especially on Facebook. Like, look how many groups. Groups are massive now on Facebook. You just need to make the effort and spend some time sitting in groups, reading people's comments or people's questions or what they put out there and commenting on them, giving valuable feedback. Because then in that small space, which is usually smaller than a town, that small space, you can be then again, like you said, known as the authority in that space. And people will eventually come to you and be like, that person knows a lot about a lot. I want to ask them a question particularly.
Or kind of just be that hub.
Yeah.
So I didn't know a lot about what they needed. I just knew the people that they needed, the people that knew a lot about what they needed, and I connected them.
Yes.
So you want to be the connector.
Yes.
So I'm like, I used to, when I had the office in town, it's different now because I'm online, but when I was in town, it was a physical space that people would come in the door, and I didn't know all the answers. I still don't know all the answers, but I always had a connection. They would either have the solution, or I knew that they would know the person that would have the solution. So you're always this helping person. I mean, money doesn't always attach itself to that transaction, but it always does lead to
help people and money will come.
To bring the money to you.
Help people and money will come. Don't even worry about the money. I mean, we do need to chase money to a degree, like you have to have. We're very driven.
Yeah.
We're very driven. We've already got our dreams of having a private plane and all
helicopter,
sorts
not
of
plane.
helicopter.
I want to be able to land like this, not land like that.
What's wrong with a private plane?
Because you've got to have a runway. So if I just want to go to this little deserted island, I want to be able to land like this.
Helicopters can't fly that far. They can fly pretty far, but they can't fly as far as a plane can.
Well, we need both.
I'm cool with both.
All right, well, that's
I'm
good.
cool with both.
Okay.
So stick with us, because if you're a long-time follower, maybe we'll take you with us.
Yeah.
See, we're giving back already.
And until such time, if you've got any questions, if there's something within what we've just talked about, if we can offer any advice, DM us or PM us and just ask.
Yeah.
Because we've done a lot.
Yeah,
and
we
we've
have.
learned a lot. And like I said, if I don't know the answers and you don't know the answers, we've probably got somebody connected
we'll find
to us
the
that
answers
will find
for
it.
you.
Yeah.
We'll find the answers
So
for you.
anything about growing your business, growing your network, growing, multiple streams of income, just ask.
Yeah, building relationships, having a friend.
Yeah.
Anything you need. We're
Having a friend. You sound desperate for friends.
Well, I'm not desperate.
Am I not enough anymore?
No, I love you. You're just all of
good.
it.
I see.
No, that's not true.
That's a lot of pressure on me.
I've got lots of friends, but they're very spread out throughout the world.
Yeah.
And again, growing some in town. But lots of online friends, lots of virtual friends. I'm very happy to have lots of virtual friends.
I think you could go around the world for free. Just pay for your airfare.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I could now, thanks to ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much every country. Not every country, but there's at least 50 countries I could go to. That
I'm glad that I'm your friend.
Yes. See, when we have the private plane
That's right.
and the helicopter,
Yes.
we're gonna go visit all these people.
Anyway, we digress.
We did digress. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, we do post it on all the socials. So you'll see it on Facebook, you'll see it on Instagram, on YouTube. If you have any feedback, we'd love it. And you can listen to us on Spotify, on iTunes,
YouTube.
Yeah, all those places.
Yeah.
And we'd love feedback.
Absolutely. That is
Yeah.
one thing that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Good, bad, just feedback.
Yeah. Or if you can think of
Tips,
a topic.
Topics.
Topics that you want us to talk about.
We put a post out this morning. Again, see, that's the difference between
Yeah.
us. It's not just about pushing stuff. It's about how can we serve other people.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about stuff all day, but we want to talk about relevant stuff that matters to you. So if there's a topic that you would really love a perspective on from each of us, so there's 20 years. So you grew up in like a social media world.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So even that, I mean, there are so many different elements or perspectives that we can talk about on so many different subjects. So anyway, feedback is fantastic. Topics are fantastic. We're here to help you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, stay tuned for our next episodes, which will be dropping. We drop one every Thursday, Australia time, but we sometimes surprise you with an extra one throughout the week. So you just need to watch our socials at the 20-year gap and see when we're gonna drop some more. And we've got some very exciting things coming as well.
Oh,
So
yes.
we've got 2 or 3 very exciting plans and events, and like they're slightly on the crazy side.
We love our ideas.
We have spent some really great ideas, so we're not going to share too much about them now. You will start seeing them leaked slowly on social media, but definitely you're going to want to stay tuned for that. It's going to be very interesting.
Yes.
Anyway, guys.
The shit you get me to do. But anyway.
I know. It's fantastic.
It's fun. Keeps me young.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We will speak to you and see you next time.
So we hope you enjoyed today's episode. And remember, if you got something out of what we discussed today, please hit the follow or subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to us if you gave us a rating to help us grow. We look forward to bringing you more, but until then, go live your best life.